Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Today in the studio we have Carolyn Pope, who is an animal communicator and therapist, and today we're going to be discussing animal global awareness, myth or truth. Hi Carolyn and welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. So can you tell us, is there animal global awareness? Is it true?
Absolutely it is, yeah. We have the internet, animals have the internet, and in the same way on Messenger, you can see someone's on there, but you don't want to talk to them. They can ignore you or other animals, or they can choose to communicate. And all animals are aware. The geese that fly from north to south and vice versa will literally spread the news. It's almost like in the old days when we only had the telegraph. Animals have always had it. We like to think that we're so superior, and yet the technology, in inverted commas, that they've always known what's gone on in other sections of the world. We're just a little slower to catch up.
Can you please give me some examples of what this is and how it works?
They have thought in exactly the same way we do, and it's the telepathics. I remember on September 11, I was staying at a mate's place, went down later that day to my horse, just looked at him and said, "Do you know about it?" And he said to me, "Yes, we all know about it. We just can't understand it. Can you explain it?" No, not really. But every animal on the planet, because you think how much that was broadcast across. Some of them will have picked up the people in the planes. Some of them will have picked up the pets and pet dogs, pet cats that saw it. The birds will have seen it. And it goes out in the same way it did on our television screens. They know and they understand. Another client of mine was going to Hawaii, and she was doing a communication to make sure the animals knew she'd be back and all those sorts of things. And the cat actually said to her, "Be careful. There's going to be an earthquake." First night at the pub, she's happily half tanked and telling everybody, and they were giving it to her for the rest of the trip. Oh, the earthquake. Day before they were due to leave, guess what there was? A large earthquake. She said it was such a shame it wasn't the second day because everyone was buying a drink. She could have had a lovely week. But the animals know so much more than we do. And a friend of mine's cockatoo, when we had that earthquake in Melbourne earlier this year, I think it was, or late last year, that was the strongest one we'd had in quite a while. Apparently half an hour before, he's turned around and gone, "Batten down the hatches. There's going to be an earthquake and it's going to be a big one." Sure enough, there was. So they know long before we do. They sense the energy of the earth and they all communicate because they feel it. I mean, you see all the pictures of the elephants heading up before the earthquakes or the tsunamis. Animals have this inbuilt knowledge. It's us humans that are left behind. We really like to think we're so all over it. We are so incredibly isolated from the rest of creation. We really are. And any animal can tune in to any other animal or person anywhere in the world and know what's going on. Friend of mine's cockatoo, it literally saved my life one day. I was really tired, mountain road. I was on my way home. I knew the road well, but it was one that a lot of people had killed themselves on. And he just said to me, "Slow down, look at your speedo." And I was doing 30k faster than I thought I was. If I'd hit that bend, it wouldn't have been pretty. And this is the thing, we are all connected. We forget that in the age that we're in now. You go back 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, we were much more interconnected, not only with ourselves, because we needed the community to survive. We weren't isolated, we all lived together. Go back, particularly Europe where there's snow, the animals lived in with you because otherwise they'd all die of cold, as we would have. You got to know the animals intimately on a bunch of levels that most people don't today. And we were connected. It mattered what they did. If they couldn't work or they were exhibiting signs of soreness, it mattered if they were a working animal. It mattered with the crops because if your crops failed, you starved to death. These days we go to the supermarket, we don't think twice. We've become so disconnected. But often, particularly before a large weather event, for example, the animals would let you know. And even today, if it's going to be a really hot summer, the animals will all drop their coat a lot earlier. Then the people would know, oh, okay, we're going to be heading towards a hot summer, or vice versa, cold, wet winter. The animals start growing their coat 2 months earlier. The farmers would know and would try and stock up. We were interconnected. We've lost all of that, or most of that. Some rural areas still have it, but very few. And, these days, the most we do with weather is flip up our phone and look at the weather app. We don't even walk and look outside or know what to do. They used to look at the animals and work out. Quite often, that would be as good or better a weather barometer as listening to the Melbourne Bureau.
And if your animal is behaving oddly, what would be your advice?
There's always, always, always a reason. You need to find it. And don't wait. Don't let it drag out. If your animal's acting oddly, animal therapist, vet, and you may well find, yes, it may well be a massive thunderstorm. A lot of dogs will pace. One of mine used to know any sort of atmospheric pressure he struggled with. So 2 days before a storm, he could be bad. It was really unpleasant for him, poor little guy. But they know, you may find it's an earthquake, but often it's pain. Oddly, there's always a reason, but most times animals will be odd, is pain. So always, always get them checked by a healthcare professional as soon as you possibly can.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. It's been a pleasure. If you want to know more about Carolyn Pope and Animal Global Awareness, go to her webpage on our website at healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and please stay tuned. We've got another fantastic guest coming after the break.
After the break, lymphologist Sean Connell is talking about ways to improve your immune system, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and next we have Sean Connell back with us, who's a lymphologist, and today he's talking about the immune system. So welcome back, Sean.
Thank you.
And the immune system today, so can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so our immune system is our white blood cells. So our immune system actually starts at our coccyx bone. Our coccyx bone vibrates and that pumps our bone marrow. And then all the bone marrow make the white blood cells, and the white blood cells get sent to our thymus gland right in the middle of the chest to make the T cells, killer T cells, and all the things that will run around and clean up all the viruses and bacteria and the unwanted things in our body that are upsetting our immune system. So a lot of people rub Vicks on their chest and they think it's for the smell, but it's not. It's for the thymus gland, which is your immune system.
Can you tell us a bit more about how the immune system works?
Okay, so when we have inflammation in the body, there's no oxygen. Now the challenge with that is the white blood cells need oxygen to run around and clean up all the cancer, the viruses and the bacteria, the things that aren't supposed to be there. So when we have inflammation in the body, the immune system's not working in that area. So what your cells will actually do is, because there's no oxygen, the cell is technically off because it needs oxygen to work. So what the cell will do is go into spontaneous firing, creating heat. So it'll use heat to try and kill the bacteria, the viruses and the cancer that's not supposed to be there. So this is why your body gets a fever. So every degree that you increase the temperature in your body is doubling your immune system. So it's doubling the white blood cells to get into that area and clean up all the unwanted bacteria, viruses and the germs that are not meant to be there.
We have germs and parasites and things in our bodies all the time, is that correct?
That's right. We have to live in harmony with those. So when they get out of balance, our immune system will just go in there and clean that up. Also, a lot of people don't realise that we have 1 million bugs in us. So a lot of Lyme's disease out there at the moment, people suffering. So when there's lack of oxygen, those bugs wake up. So the oxygen keeps them asleep. So when they wake up, they're hungry, so they want to eat. So they actually start to eat us, and that's where all the challenges come from. So increase that oxygen, that'll put the bugs back to sleep, that'll boost your immune system back up, and everything's back to normal.
So Sean, when you talk about the oxygen and the white cells, how can we increase the oxygen in our body?
Well, the oxygen's coming from the bloodstream, and so when there's inflammation in the body, there's no oxygen in that area. So the only way to remove that inflammation is through the lymphatic system. So we have to remove that inflammation out of the body. Then the oxygen can get to the cells, and then the white blood cells can clean everything up, and our metabolism can turn on, which creates the energy, and this is why health is energy.
And you talked before, I know, about the four different ways of increasing the oxygen. Is that correct?
So yeah, there's 4 ways to activate the lymphatic system. So deep breathing, bouncing, stroking, and energy. So when the lymphatic system's moving, that'll move the inflammation and dead cells, toxins away from the cells, and then more oxygen can get to the cells. So when there's more oxygen around the cells, the white blood cells can work, and they'll just go around and clean up all the cancer, the viruses, the bacteria, the things that aren't supposed to be there.
So Sean, what would your best advice for our viewers to be around the immune system?
Well, we must keep the lymphatic system moving to remove that inflammation out of the body so we can get more oxygen into the cells. So when there's more oxygen there, the white blood cells can go around and clean everything up. Also, our stomach acid is so important. So we need the proper stomach acid so we can have a proper immune system. Also, there's a gene that we work with, the MTHFR gene. So if that's not working properly, which 50% of the population around the world have a dysfunction with this gene. So this gene helps make the T cells and natural killer T cells that help clean up our body as well. Vitamins and very, very important. So vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin D3. We must keep on top of that with good nutrition. So, and also health is energy. So the more energy we have, the more health we have, and then the body can regenerate and work the way it's supposed to. And we have a lot of new technology out there that really, really helps the body to increase that energy and remove that inflammation and allow the body to regenerate and heal itself. So yeah, and there's a lot of professionals out there now specialising in the lymphatic drainage and energy and how the body works and what we can do to make the body more healthy and regenerate and have a better life.
And as you said before, bring better balance.
Balance, yeah. Balance.
Thanks so much for that, Sean. And for more information about Sean Connell and the immune system, then please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll go to break and see you back afterwards with another wonderful guest. After the break, health coach and author Kaveri Sekera is talking about sustaining a healthy lifestyle, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, and our next guest is Kaveri Sekera, certified health coach and author, and today her topic is sustaining a healthy lifestyle. Welcome back, Kaveri.
Thank you, Linda. Great to be back.
Always good to see you. And today you're talking about sustaining a healthy lifestyle. Now, why is it important to sustain a healthy lifestyle? Bearing in mind, I guess you've talked to us about the human diet.
Yes, absolutely. So it's really important to sustain that human diet and healthy lifestyle, because you've worked so hard in changing and doing all the things that are required to have that healthy lifestyle. So you obviously want to maintain it. I've seen so many times where people go back to their old habits and behaviors within 3 to 6 months, especially if they've done yo-yo dieting, with the different, just get a crash result. But in 3 to 4 months' time, they're back, eating with their old ways of eating and their patterns. Now, that doesn't happen when you follow the human diet, simply because you know how to deal with it, and also because the cravings are completely reduced, because we're having natural food and there's not much chemicals, so your body is having a bit of a chance to kind of get that reset and really heal, and you're not having those spikes in blood sugars that's going to cause you to pile on those kilos. And you're eating seasonally, and that helps a lot, as I've talked about before as well, to give your body a break to actually heal. So when I kind of achieved my weight loss goals and my weight transformation following this human diet, what I personally did was join a support group. So I actually joined people who are actually on the same journey as me, and that community feel like made a massive difference. And also just being more, just if you make a mistake and you do something or eat something that you don't want to eat and you feel like you've fallen off track, just get back on track. Don't beat yourself up. That's what we do as well, and that doesn't help being healthy, because you're mentally stressed then. So yeah, that's why it's important, and I can share with you how you could do that.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So that would be my question to you. How can we sustain it moving forward, and bearing in mind that the healthy diet, and also you mentioned the emotional eating aspect.
Absolutely. So how do you do that? As I've already mentioned, join a community of like-minded people, because when you're in community, you have that accountability, and having that accountability really helps. And don't beat yourself up. Like if you've gone off track, recognize it and get back on track. And the emotional hunger is really a big one for us to, like a life event happens and then you like, okay, let me just trigger that behavior. That kind of triggers the behavior to go eat something that you would have had the last time you had that life event. So my suggestion is walk away, go drink a glass of water, do some meditation or deep breathing. That'll actually help you not buckle in and fall off the rails. The other thing is, you decide the person you're going to be. You literally change your mindset around food, and you literally change who you are or identify with. For example, if someone asks me, do I smoke today? I say I'm not a smoker. That's my identity around smoking. So like for that, you can have that same identity around food. You can say, I don't eat refined sugars. Or you could say, I don't eat dairy in my diet. When you are that person, when you identify with that, then it's very easy to say no to the bad habits coming back in. So when it comes to healthy lifestyle, then why people are so happy that they've have it, and then why do they not follow it all the time? The reason is because there's some sort of life event that's happened that kind of triggers old ways of eating or old behaviors, and they kind of just fall into bad habits again. The other reason is they probably don't have the support network that's kind of required to keep them accountable to maintain that healthy lifestyle. The biggest reason though is that they haven't identified themselves as a person who's like healthy and eats certain types of food, and the identity is not associated 100%, or it's not reinforced 100%, and that's probably why they go back into old ways of eating. So my suggestion for that, I'll cover off in the tips, is how they can actually do that better.
Oh, wonderful. And so then from that, then what would your best advice, your top tips for our viewers as a takeaway from today?
Absolutely. So my best tips, if you've already achieved like sustainable weight loss and you're happy with it, and if you're following a very healthy lifestyle already and you're worried that you're going to put on weight, is to make a list. This is a food list of what I do eat, what I don't eat, and I will eat sometimes. Make a list and see, is this something that I want to associate as a person, as an identity of someone who eats, 3 chocolates a day? Or you could just say, I don't eat chocolate. It's your decision, but you are now aware of what is good quality and what is not so good for your health. You get a choice. This is food, what food freedom is. You make a list of what you associate with something that you're going to eat regularly, something you're not going to eat regularly, and something that you eat sometimes. And that way you are not going below the line. You're not, making a mistake. And if you make a mistake, guess what? Just get back on track, because guilt and shame around this doesn't help us maintain a healthy lifestyle, because healthy lifestyle also includes your mental health and emotional health. And yes, and drink your 7 to 8 glasses of water. Have healthy community around you, and that will certainly make a big difference.
Thank you so much, Kaveri.
Pleasure.
And for more information on Kaveri and sustaining a healthy lifestyle, but then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And for now, we'll say bye-bye and we'll see you next week. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.